When we finished last time, we had this code from this flowchart, and they're both about the same. The only issues that we had were we had to make sure that our counter and our accumulator both started with 0, because if we didn't do it, then when we tried to add it or add 1, we ended up with an NaN or undefined because it was trying to, in fact, this pay accum should not be here because we don't need to declare it twice. JavaScript would say okay, but that's not right. So we started out with 0, so there's something in that place in memory, not just null, which is nothing. And the only other thing we had was when we tried to add it down here, add the 10 to the next to the 20, it wouldn't work because, or 10 to the 0, it wouldn't work because this is text 10, not binary 10. So we had to use parseInt in order to be able to fix that. All right, so when we preview it, we can see that it works fine. So we have 10, and we've gone around one time, and we have $10, and we want to keep going, and then we say 20, and now it should say 30. So 2 times $30. So that's all working. So we say no, and we're done. So we want to add some functionality. One of the things we want to do is we didn't add the average. So we're going to go ahead and put a semicolon at the end of this and put a semicolon at the end of this, so we're not sloppy. And then we'll add that next math, which would be pay average, and I shouldn't be typing. And we're going to assign to that place in memory what's returned. When we take pay accum, so we will copy and paste that, and we divide it by the counter. And again, I'm not going to type it, I'm going to copy and paste it so we have no errors. And then end up with a semicolon, and then the next thing is we have to do our next alert. So again, I'm going to copy and paste this down and just alter it. So we have collected an average of, and then use our pay average. I'll copy that and paste it over this, and it should work fine. Okay, so we have 10, 1, 10, an average of 10, so that works. And then we'll do it one more time, and we'll say 20. We have 2 times $30, so it should be 15. Sweet, it's all working. And then we say no. Okay, the last step is now we have to get it into the way that the user doesn't want to see those things popping up every time. They want to know at the end of the day what that information was. So what we're going to do is going to get rid of this alert down here, this done looping, because now we have another way of knowing it's done, and that's by output. So this one right here, we've gone around so many times, this one and this one need to be document.writes. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these, and I'm going to paste them underneath my stop looping. But they're not going to be alerts, they're going to be document.writes. So I'm going to do document.write, and then I'm going to go ahead and copy this and paste it over the other alerts. Get rid of the extra T. Everything else to say is the same. The only other thing we need to have, remember, they all should be on their own line, so I'm going to have to add the BR tags for the second and third. All right. Whoops. I didn't want to drag it. I wanted to copy it. There we go. All right, so now they both have BRs. Now, I still don't want to see those pop-ups, but I'm not going to delete them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to comment them out. And the reason why we comment them out is that when a person comes in later on and has to modify our code, then they can uncomment these in order to be able to use them for test basis. So we're going to leave the test basis in. Not going to hurt anything. but it's going to help the user come in later on when they want to start changing. They don't have to put a bunch of numbers in before it working. All right, so let's see what we've done. We're going to hit save so that everything is saved. Then we're going to preview. So I have 10, then yes, and then 20, and then no. We'll just put 2 in. That's good. And we've gone around 2 times. We've collected $30 and with 15. So see how nice that is. That was nice and quick. There was no pop-ups, and it just gave us the information when everything was over. When we said no, there's no more writers. We're ready to go. So this is how you should be doing your coding when you do loops, and that is you don't try to do the whole thing at one time. You build it, you test it. You build it, you test it, so that when an error occurs, you know where their error is because the error it pops up right there. And then when we code, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do build it and test it, build it and test it, using alerts within our loop to see how things are going every time we go around the loop. And then at the very end, we're going to take those alerts, comment them out, paste them down here, and use our document.writes. So then when we run it the last time, it should run flawlessly. But if you try to do this, particularly when it gets a lot more complicated, you're going to find that you're spending so much time chasing down errors, even in your flowchart, that this course becomes very frustrating. If you do it my way, your frustration level is so much lower. All right, that's it. We'll go on to the next lesson.